morning and welcome. Please stand. Let's start with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, my Mother, friend, beloved God, great Master, Jesus Christ, God of Krishna, Swami Shri Teshwar, beloved Master, saints of all religions, divide thy blessings on this Satsang, and on our lives, as we seek to attune ourselves ever more perfectly. Thank thee for our Guru's love in our lives. All thanks. We thank you. Om Shanti. Please be seated. We'll start with some chanting. Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadguru Namami. Joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 ever new 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 joy, 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 Ananda Nityanami Ananda 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 Nityanami Ananda Joy 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 Avenue Joy 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 Avenue Joy 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 Avenue Joy 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 Avenue Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai
So inhale the double breath, exhale the whole body. Exhale and relax. Once more. We'll go into meditation with a selection from Metaphysical Meditations. Words of Paramahansa Yoganandaji, voice of Swami.
Mentally repeat, Goodbye, blue house of heaven. Farewell, stars and celestial celebrities, and your dramas on the screen of space. Goodbye, flowers, with your traps of beauty and fragrance. You can hold me no longer. I'm flying home. Adieu to the warm embrace of sunshine. Farewell, cool, soothing, comforting breeze. Goodbye, entertaining music of man. I stayed long, reveling with all of you, dancing with my variously costumed thoughts, drinking the wine of my feelings and my mundane will. I have now forsaken the intoxications of delusion. Goodbye, muscles, bones, and bodily motions. Farewell, breath, I cast thee from my breast. Adieu, heart throbs, emotions, thoughts, and memories. I am flying home in the plane of silence. I go to feel my heart throb in him. I soar in the plane of consciousness, above, beneath, left, right, within, without, everywhere, to find that in every nook of my space home, I have always been in the sacred presence of my Father.
analogy on happiness. Happiness is an attitude of mind born from a single, simple determination to be happy under all outward circumstances. Happiness lies not in things, nor in outward attainments. It is the gold of our inner nature, buried beneath the mud of outward sense cravings. When you know that nothing outside you can affect you, no disappointment, no failure, no misunderstanding from others, then you will know that you have found true happiness. Resolve strongly to keep this flame burning ever in your heart. Let's affirm together. I vow from today onwards
I vow from today onwards
to be happy under every circumstance.
to be happy under every
I
circumstance.
came from God's joy.
I came from God's
I
joy.
am joy.
I am joy.
I vow from today onwards
I vow from today
to be
onwards
happy under every circumstance.
to be happy under every
I came
circumstance.
from God's joy.
I came from God's joy.
I am joy.
I am joy.
I vow from today onwards
I vow from today onwards
to be happy under every
to
circumstance.
be happy under every circumstance.
I came from God's joy.
I came from God's joy.
I am joy.
I am joy.
I
I vow from today onwards
vow
to be happy under every circumstance. I came from God's joy. I am joy.
Pray silently with me. O Lord of joy, fill me with boundless happiness, for I am thy child, made in thy blissful image. As thou art joy, so also in my inner self am I. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We'll have the whispers reading and then from the Bhagavad Gita. This reading is called My Guru. Thou light of my life, thou camest to spread wisdom's beam over the path of my soul. Centuries of darkness dissolved before the shafts of thy luminous hair. As a naughty baby, I cried for my mother divine, and she came to me as my Guru, Swami Shri Krishna. At that meeting, O my Guru, a spark flew from thee, and the faggots of my God craving, gathered through incarnations, molded and blazed into bliss. All my questions have been answered with thy flaming golden touch. Eternal, ever-present satisfaction has come to me through thy glory. My Guru, thou voice of God, I found thee in response to my soul cries. Slumbers of sorrow are gone, and I am awake in bliss. If all the gods are displeased, yet thou art pleased, I am safe in the fortress of thy pleasure. If all the gods protect me behind the parapets of their blessings, yet I receive not thy benedictions, I am an orphan, left to find spiritually in the ruins of thy displeasure. O Guru, thou didst bring me out of the bottomless pit of darkness into the paradise of peace. Our souls met after years of waiting. We trembled with an omnipresent thrill. We met here because we had met before. Together, we will fly to his shores, where we will smash our planes of finitude forever and vanish into infinite life. I walk to thee As the spoken voice of silent God, I bow to you as the divine door which leads to the temple of salvation. I bow to you, to thy master, Mahimashaya, harbinger of Gurgaon and Banaras, and I lay the flowers of my devotion at the feet of Babaji, our supreme master.
This reading is from the essence of those are greatest among humans who help to bring masses to God. In this way only can a master's greatness be attained. It is outstanding among other masters, only for the good he does on earth. Otherwise, every Jivan Mukta, having achieved mythical samadhi, is as great as the greatest siddha, the perfected being. He may have passed karma to the God. Even so, he is one with God. There are no gradations of oneness. There is another distinction between one perfected master and another. One who is an ascended master, having attained that state in the present lifetime, as the spiritual opportunity to give others. Jivan Mukta returns to earth, continue working out his past karma, and from that level also provide disciples. Also has limited divine power compared to the one who is fully liberated. One, on the other hand, who achieves full liberation, yet perceives the desireless desire unselfishly, to bring understanding to the world, and is therefore born again in perfect freedom, comes back to limitless. Such a person is an apostle. One who achieved final liberation life deserves that recognition. Avatar is a universal savior like Krishna, Jesus Christ. Thousands, indeed millions, at least in theory, though there are never millions at any one time to actually see God, can be carried to God by such a one as a powerful railway movement is capable of pulling very long train behind.
Morning, friends, and welcome. It's a joy to be back here. I think I've been gone from this space doing a satsang for 2.5 years. It's really a blessing and God's grace that we can all be back here together. Welcome you. Today's topic is on Guru's grace. We could be saying it's God's grace through the Guru. I'd like to begin with Swamiji's brief words on grace. Grace, the masters teach, is not some capricious divine favor. Yes, it is the gift of God's blessing, but it is one that we can consciously draw on by using specific yogic practices. Grace, far from being God's whim, relates to his law of love and receptivity. It flows both momentarily and constantly into all those who have inwardly learned how to receive it. Yoga techniques teach us how to open our inner curtains, so to speak, to the sunlight of grace, which perpetually shines upon us. It's so important to keep in mind that grace isn't for some and not for others. It comes sometimes it's never there. Sometimes we can't receive it, sometimes we can receive it. But that grace, just like the wind, just like the sun, just like the rain, just like the ocean roaring, is flowing all the time. But we have to capture it. We have to cooperate with grace, is the way Swami Kriyanandaji put it. We have to tune to grace. We have to stand in the light. We have to open the curtains. We have to open ourselves. We have to turn our cup up, so to speak. In yoga, we open ourselves to receive the flow, the inflow of grace. Actually, I could stop right there because that's the whole topic. That's the whole meaning behind grace. And so many people think that grace is just, it's sort of whimsical and it just happens sometimes, it doesn't happen sometimes. You can have grace in your life all the time. And so inspiration can come, people can come into your life. Our gurus came by grace, our master came by grace, the techniques came by grace, our centers come, but we asked. We didn't passively hope something was happening. We asked. We wanted it. We put energy out. We were magnetically pulling and drawing God's grace into our lives. And that's how grace comes. And so Master said, quoting the Bible, to all who received God, he came to them. It's not, oh, it's just whoever, you were born in this year, or you're this religion, or you're that. It's all who received, all who could draw, all who were open, all who lift themselves up to bringing God into their lives. It's such a wonderful thought to keep in your mind that at any time or anything, grace is ever flowing. Where are you? It's a question. If you tune into it, it's there. As Guruji said, on the spiritual path, 25% is our effort. 25% Guru's grace. 50% God's grace. That's a lot. That 75% is grace. But you have to ignite it with your 25%, which means everything that you can do to draw that grace into your lives. And so grace comes in many different ways. It comes through protection in our lives, isn't it so? And so I have wonderful stories I thought about it. Grace coming through protection. There was one disciple, Master, whose daughter had epilepsy. His name was Dr. Lewis. Master got a call. Dr. Lewis got a call one day when Master Yoganandaji was there. And Dr. Lewis hung up the phone and he looked so worried. And Yoganandaji said, well, what happened? What happened? He said, well, my daughter had an epileptic fit and she's been having it for some time now. And Master said, oh, I'm so sorry. And they said, don't worry. And he stepped away from Doctor, like behind the curtain or somewhere. And then he came out. And he said, she's fine now. And it will never happen again. It did. God's grace came to the Master, healed her. It was her karma, obviously, to be healed. But that power, it's a power. It's not light, it's not something in my spine. It's a Shakti that comes into you, that's flowing, that's cleansing you, that's purifying you. There was another man who was a friend of a disciple. He was in a hospital and he was very ill. And the friend called Yoganandaji and said, would you help this man? Would you pray for him? And Master said, all right. And Master prayed for him. And Master said it felt like this Shakti, this power just blasted out of him, said, just pour it out of me. And the man at the hospital sat up. The nurse heard the sound and saw a flash in the room. They didn't know what happened. That was grace. That healed that. Yoganandaji, his power is there. And one time they were 35, 36, he came back from America. And he was out on a boating trip with some other people on the boat, many people. And suddenly, the boat started sinking. And all the people they looked at Yoganandaji, they knew he was a holy man. And they were, holy man, save us, save us. He said, I can't save you. God can save you. Pray to God. And everybody started praying. And then finally, the boat came back up. And they all came back, holy man, you saved me. He said, I didn't save you. This is the thing you have to remember. He said, God saved you. You pray to God. God saved you. We have to remember to call on God, call on Guru, call on Babaji, call on Lahiri Masha, call on Jesus, call on Krishna. How many people do? In your mind should be Om Guru, or Om Babaji, Om Babaji. If you're in trouble and you're on the metro or your car broke down, or so many things happen. I was reading a story from one of the Nayaswamis about she was driving and I was late in the night. She had somebody in their car who wasn't well. And this was in America, in the village, and they had a flat tire. And she just said, who's going to come here? It's way out in the wilderness. And no car. And these fellows got out and she said, she was a little bit afraid of them. They looked pretty rough. They said, ma'am, look like you're having a problem here. And so she said, okay, they fixed the tire. Just at that moment, you just have to know. This is what I feel. God wants to help us. But we shut the door and say, Lord, I can do it myself. I'm quite capable. I'm well educated. I have money. I can do it myself. You just shut the door. Master told one disciple, if you shut the door, how can I come in? Door of my heart, open wide. That's the chant. We were chanting it earlier, right? Open wide. I keep for thee, because I want God to come. Another wonderful story, there was a monk who was driving down Mount Washington Mountain. And he was driving one of the trucks. And then the brakes went out. And he thought, oh my God. And then he said, Master, is this what you want? And then suddenly, going downhill, the car started going forward and decided to stop. It's a wonderful story to meditate on. People lack faith. And they lack energy. I'm telling you, they don't put out any energy. God will help me. I don't think that works. You have to have the faith and have the power yourself. You attract. If you're magnetic, you attract the situation. You attract health. You attract prosperity. You attract health. You attract, it even says in Master's Affirmations book, even at the time of death, if you affirm life, affirm the soul, you can change the time of your passing. That's an incredible story. So you're about to die, but you're just hanging on to God, cleaning, I have faith. You can change the day that you're gonna die. It's an incredible thought that people, I don't want to put out the energy. But you just look at the faith, read the stories of the saints. They had so much faith in God. People are so deluded today, and so energy's pulled out everywhere. I was thinking of the story of Saint Anthony. He was a great saint, Christian saint. And he lived in a tomb 60 years. You can't get people to sit down for 6 minutes to meditate. Within the 60 years, meditating, calling to God. And Master told this story. He said he lived to be about 125 years old. but for 60 years, he just dedicated his life to God. And then he was tempted. The satanic force, and the force comes every morning. Don't get up on the bed, it's too hot outside. Just stay in the bed. You don't want to get up today, it's Sunday. You don't go to the satsang. Oh no, just watch it. You know, you don't have to go there. I mean, stay in your pajamas or whatever, honestly. But he was tempted over and over. He said, I will not give up God. I know Christ, my guru. I know he's with me. And then Satan said, then I will crack the tomb. Have you ever had that happen to you? You're hanging on and then bang, bang, these things start happening all around your life. Karmic bombs start exploding, Master said. He said, they're karmic bombs. It's your own karma, but it's exploding. Anthony never gave up. And finally, Christ appeared to him, his guru. And Anthony said, Lord, how come it took so long? I've been calling and calling and calling you. Christ said, Anthony, the way Master says it, I was just the same with you. I was always there. Gurus, grace. There are so gurus there to protect. Grace as a protection. Grace and meditation is so beautiful. As we meditate, we feel the gurus are meditating with us. Master, he's showing me how to see the spiritual life. He's helping me to hear. He's doing the kriya. He's helping me to be still. There's a beautiful story of one of the Master's relatives who Hare Krishna Ghosh, maybe some of you know Master's nephew. So he said his sister, I mean his aunt, his mother, Master's sister, was wanting to see something of God. So she kept asking, the Master said, no. He was waiting for them to really want it. And so finally Master said, okay. And there were lots of people in the room. He had all those people leave. He said, Hare Krishna, you stay. He was only like 15, I think. He said, you stay and shut the door and turn on the light. And Hare Krishna, he was happy. So Master and Hare Krishna sat on one side and his two sisters sat on the other. And Master said some slokas. And then he sent his power into them. It's not a joke. The Guru transmits his power into the disciple. Teachings, books, all that's fine, but you have to have that transmission of the Guru's power. And so then after a while, he said, okay, Hare Krishna, open the door, turn on the lights. And the sisters' faces were just glowing light. And Hare Krishna said, Mother, what did you see? She said, I can't describe it. I can't tell you what I saw. And then afterwards, Master said to Hare Krishna, I've shown your mother and your aunt Bhagavad Gita, the light of the country. This is Guru's grace. Meditation, to ask, help me to see the light, help me to hear the inner sounds, help me to sit longer, help me to be creative, help me to see you, Master. How do people do that? Looking at their watch and eyes going over. Just say, Master, I'm here for you. Bhakti, devotion, was Guru's grace. The time we were chanting, Lord my heart, or Kamala Silva, one of the Master's direct disciples. She was elderly, she lived at a mountain village with us. We'd go to her house and chant and meditate, but she was in her 80s. And God, it was wonderful darshan. And so one day we were chanting Lord my heart with her. And she said, oh, stop, that chant would draw Master. so that chant. You know, and when she was saying that chant, but also that chanting, not just power behind it. That's what it was. So in meditation, Guru's grace comes. In daily life, Guru's grace comes. Remember, Master asked Swami Shri he says, well, this was after he had the samadhi, samadhi experience through his guru. You know that story. Get to all this. Anyway, so he had the experience. Then a few weeks later, he said, but Master, to Swami Shri I don't think I found God. And this guru said, what are you looking for? Of course you found God. He said, I don't think I have. He said, how do I know if I found God? And he said to him, Swami Shri he said to him, when you will know you found God, when you feel his ever new joy. That was one thing. And you feel his help in your life, even in the details. What a great statement. And I read that again, I thought, hey, I found that. Isn't it better to say I found God even if you haven't yet? Rather than no. But at least to a degree, we found ever new joy. I mean, it's there. You could feel it today we're chanting. To a degree, don't you feel God's presence in your everyday life? Of course you do. So it's in degrees, it's growing by the day, isn't it? Growing more until it's completely there. When I had that thought, I said, God, you can say it already. I said, no, I don't think I found God. Well, surely we haven't completely, but we have to a degree. And so, even in that, his guru said, you find his help in the details and he feels ever joy. I was remembering a wonderful experience I had when I was in South Africa in 1991. This is meeting God in daily life. This has to do with that. And someone invited us to go to Durban, which I had never been to South Africa. Surely didn't know anything about Durban. It was all Indian. And this was my first experience with an Indian audience. It was from me. So we were there, and Dr. and Mrs. Maharaj, those are wonderful souls. They're both doctors. And they didn't know us. We said, no, you must teach us everything. But yoga not teach us. And, you know, we weren't supposed to go there. So we stayed, no, you must spend the night now, spend the night. I said, well, you must stay all day tomorrow, teach some. So this was totally out of schedule, but you know, Indians are convincing. So we ended up staying. So at the end, they were thanking us for being there, Ananda. And then one man said, Mr. Maharaj, people were standing up giving testimonials. I get energized now, I feel better. And this man stood up and said, when I read an autobiography of a yogi about Babaji, and then anyone who calls the Babaji any devotee, not devotee, but since the sincerity, you will receive an instantaneous blessing. He said, I read that, I closed the book, and I prayed for somebody to come here. You people are the people who I feel sent to come. That was in daily life. Isn't that a beautiful story? And now there are many South Africans coming. This was 91. Now we have, oh, in fact, next year, a huge group coming from South Africa to Ananda. Finally, grace comes in finding God. You think of, there was that woman who was 80 years old. She came to Master at that age. She didn't come till she was 80, but she was devoted. She was focused. Master said of that woman, she will find God in this life. How much longer did she live? It couldn't have been a whole lot. She was completely from Master's grace and her efforts. She found God. And then there was Dhyana. These are some great saints, men and women. Yanamata, when she left this earth, she left with the words joy, joy, too much joy. And Master came and he said, now I want you to know that she was fully liberated with God. I want you to feel her feet, and they were like ice. Now he said, now put your hands on the top of her head, and it was so hot. He said, that means she left the body to the top of the head, the side side. And he kept her in her body for 20 years. She was ill. And he said, I told Divine Mother, I'm not going to let you go until I want you. Meaning, she finished her karma. She finished helping Master. She went. So in the final time, Master said, when your passing comes, either I am meeting him or one of the masters will be there to take you. Meaning, at the time of death, grace is there. Time of final freedom in God, hopefully, for everyone. Time is there. I was remembering those of this Shivani and Damodar. Shivani was such a her mother's passing. She was a Kriyaban, many of you know Shivani, who knew her mother, very devout, very saintly person. And she said in her last weeks, she kept saying Swamiji. And he said, she just said, he's there, I talk to him every day. And family kept trying to talk to her. Said, no, I don't want to talk to you. I talk to Swamiji. She was just in this very uplifted state. And so they called me to the house just the day seemed like she was going to pass away. And it was just a beautiful passing. When she was in her last moments, we went in her room, and the doctor said, well, she's going to feel everything that's going to happen, just this and that physical thing. None of that happened. She just popped out. And we were there right on the spot, and I just stroking her forehead, just chanting to the Guru's own Babaji, people Babaji, very much I come, Master come. This is a passing of the disciple. So beautiful. And then we put the harmonium on the bed and start chanting. And it was such a glorious moment. And what did we feel? It was grace. Taking into his arms, into the arms of the divine. We should be grateful every moment. And grace, I think 75% is in everything we're doing. Master and God's grace. Have to close to this breathing. This is from autobiography of a yogi. Just close your eyes and imagine these scenes of masters. This is when he was about to be sent to the trip to Vrindavan, 2 penniless boys to Vrindavan. I'm just reading a brief paragraph. After his brother challenged him, this is what Master said, I accept the challenge. No hesitation was in my words or in my heart. Grateful memories flashed in the instant beneficence. My healing of deadly cholera to appeal to Lahiri Mahashaya's picture. The playful gift of the 2 kites on the Lahore roof of Uma. The opportune amulet amidst my discouragement. The decisive message to the unknown Nayaswami outside the compound of the Pandit's home. The vision of Divine Mother in her majestic words of love. Her swift heed through Master Mahashaya to my trifling embarrassments. The last-minute guidance which materialized my high school diploma. The ultimate boon. My living master from the midst of lifelong dreams. Never could I admit My philosophy unequal to any tussle on the world's harsh human ground. Please stand down for the arati. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Send out blessings to the together with the lives, big light, loving the earth, all with the love of Father, my mother, and beloved God, Guru preceptors, Jesus Christ, Bhagavad Krishna, beloved Master, Paramahansa Yoganandaji, saints of all religions, bow at thy feet, my mother, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion. May we be able to awaken thy love in all hearts. We are thine. Be thou eternal. Some of you have already had a chance to touch these relics.
But if you haven't, you're welcome to come up to the altar. This is an original autobiography of a yogi. You're welcome to touch it. It's not signed by Master, but still an original. This is a piece of Swami Sri Tesvarji's sacred thread that was on his body at Mahasamadhi that Master took and he gave to some of his relatives who gave them to Ananda. And these are threads from a rug this rug that we're bringing up that Master stood on when he would do arati. This was at the Tulsi Bose home where he lived for the part of his time. And actually we'll bring the whole rug up and you'll be able to touch that or the threads. And then there are some relics of Swami Kriyanandaji's, some of his hair, some of his meditation seat, and the shirt. And so if you have not already come up to touch these, please do. And others can be seated, or you can come back again if you would. Aditya, you come. Compassion filled to others can be gentle. Master's house.
Om Shanti Shanti. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day, and you can join us for a prasad just next door.